Miss me with the bullshit.
Yo, what it is? Man, Maddie C.
It's me, P.
Modern day music man, Jamal McMillan.
And the modern day music woman. Say hello.
Hello.
One of my favorite people. She always sits off on the side and doesn't say anything. Well, doesn't let herself be seen. She says a lot. But let's get straight to it. A lot of stuff is going on. Well, not even a lot of stuff, man. We're just going to talk about the silly shit that's going on that we're seeing on the internet and on TV and whatnot, right? So let's jump to it. 100 men versus one gorilla.
Oh, yeah. I was saying that on my Twitter. I was saying that. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where it came from either.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty.
Who fucking thinks about shit like that?
Right. She's kind of.
People want some clicks, man.
When you analyze it now, we get straight to it, right? Would 100 men beat a fucking gorilla? Of course. Right.
Well, we looked it up. You know what I'm saying? I looked it up. The silverback stands about 4 feet tall.
Yeah, he's taller than that. He's taller than.
But they about 400. Right. They 400 pounds, and they got that armband with. You know what I'm saying? Like they got long arms. They swinging. They knocking people out. So
they knocking people out. He probably bit a few people.
You feel me?
But he is going to overall lose the war.
That's right.
Overall lose the war, but he got some battles under his belt. I ain't gonna lie to you. He got some wins under that belt.
So if he acquitted himself pretty well, then that's one thing. But it's not gonna matter when you did.
Right. Yeah. You might get the first 15 motherfuckers, but the rest of them,
that's where it goes.
The shit out that gorilla.
Over.
About 100. Who gonna volunteer? And then,
not me. Right. I tell you that shit.
That's why I said this is something that
I wouldn't be nowhere
people
near on
volunteer
that
each
list.
other for type situation.
Right. I know it's supposed
whoever
to
got
be
the most votes.
No such thing as a stupid question, right?
That's a stupid question. But there's always a bunch of stupid questions. A bunch of stupid ass questions.
Lord.
This was wild though, man, because it really went viral, right?
It did,
and it showed the way, the delusion of some of us. You know what I'm saying? To even think, and not even necessarily think that we couldn't win, but the fact that we really about to risk lives just to fight a gorilla.
Ain't nobody. This is all talk. This is all speculation. Ain't nobody about to fight no gorilla.
I know. But I'm saying it's delusion that the people be, you know.
Did y'all see that video on YouTube, right? TikTok? It was all over the place.
What?
It was a whole lion in like this little village area. It got out of its enclosure and then went into the area with all the, I'm talking about at least 200-300 people.
Well, people.
And the lion was getting
it. Now that gives a little bit more, a little bit more context to now the fight, right? So let's say like if we switch the gorilla out, you put like 100 men versus a lion, right? And we talking about like it's not like you in enclosure, right?
Yeah.
It's like you just in the tall grass, y'all spread out and shit like that, and he can just run around like he want to and just jump on you when you want to. I think I'd give that shit to the lion. You know what I'm saying? He'd be picking niggas off left and right, you know.
He probably got more endurance.
Right.
You know, but all of those people would have to really be trying to get the lion.
At the same time. Yeah. Because if not, then they gonna lose. They gonna lose.
That's what's gonna really happen. And in the video you can see everybody scattering. Like,
hey, that's what's gonna happen that's what would happen with the 100 niggas versus the gorilla, right? Yeah. Even though the 100 niggas still will win. The moment they open up that cage and that motherfucker come running out, niggas is hauling ass. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is like, oh shit. Before they get their bearings around, niggas is hauling ass.
That gorilla gonna come out swinging.
Will 100 men stand tall?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I can
especially the niggas on the front line. Absolutely not.
I can see it because there are times where people get on the game shows, right? And they like the dare devil type of shows, right? So they finally get in front of something that's like, what? And then they just don't do it.
Yeah,
because the fear to go,
the fear factor, that whole thing, that whole show.
So if you're scary, it's like, you know, I saw a video the other day about the man saying, he wouldn't fight for his kids if the baby mama got him because it's gonna be too much trauma, it's this, that, and third, blah, blah, blah. And I just would say that's because you just don't have no fight in you at all. You know what I'm saying? You think of how challenging this is gonna be having to deal with your baby mama, but you're not thinking about the benefit you'll get your kids by fighting through that. They give
man,
them
fuck them kids, man.
There you go, there you go.
No.
Man, fuck them kids,
there you
man.
go, man.
Listen, I would been through too much shit with and I got a great relationship with my kids, man. But I used to be the one. I used to be the one that used to think that, like, oh man, man fucked up for not trying to, be there for the kids, everything like that. But now when I see all the shit they go through, man, fuck them kids, man. Word up, man. Fuck them kids. Keep it pushing.
Oh,
It's discouraging. I know that it makes people feel like, why should I when X, Y, and Z is coming from this other person, right?
You should never be able to use your kids as a weapon against
And that's what happens. That's what happens to us primarily, right? The kid get used as a proxy, for somebody's vindictive nature,
Right.
They got a vendetta against you, so they know they can't beat you up,
right?
So, but I can still hurt you if I use so and so.
You can only hurt me if I care. But the moment you start saying "fuck it,"
and so that's what That's what make people start saying, you know what? I'm just gonna send my little money to you every month.
Listen, niggas need to figure out a way to not even send the money. Like your man from even the basketball player. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
He paid it up front. I like his style, right? Because it's like that's chump change to him. You know what I'm saying? Paid up front, but you can never ask me for not another. So now, are you really in it for, was you really in it for him to be a father, or you was in it for the money? You know what I'm saying? So more dudes need to just get on that shit. Like, listen, man, if it's gonna be too much of a hassle,
50 Cent did something similar.
Right, we want to put himself on child support. If it's gonna be a hassle, man, you might as well just like fuck it.
The son didn't even appreciate what he was getting, right? Because he felt like
his
dad
more than that. 600,
about $6,000.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
But he put it all in a trust all at one time. He got with his accountant, put it all in a trust, and the money was just released to her every month.
Right.
But he, that's what he did with his son, and they ain't appreciate that $6,000.
Yeah, we got off on a tangent.
Yeah, like you always do. Yeah, you're supposed to be talking about fighting gorillas.
Yeah,
and you talking about gorilla baby mamas and shit.
We had to get away from that gorilla. Man.
Nah, man. Because now, listen, I feel like shit. Fighting the gorilla is like fighting your baby moms.
Okay, I see how you did that. I see how you did that too.
That's crazy.
That was nice.
That's the truth.
That was nice.
Are you a bitter baby mom?
Nah.
Yeah, I hate bitter baby moms.
I got no reason to be.
And with a passion.
But that's what I was about to say.
That's why you should put 100 baby mothers
we need to be
in with a
talking
motherfucking gorilla. That's what you need to do. 100 baby moms versus the gorilla. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all win, then y'all get the child support. And that's what needs to happen.
You just want to see a bunch of women get beat up.
And then also,
I hate when
and then also,
you heard what she said, you ain't lay down and had a kid by yourself.
Because
you really did lay down and had a kid by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah, so because when you birthing the kid by yourself, so that's you laying down and having the kid by yourself.
No,
man, you stand up, lay down. It don't matter.
What about the fact that you being there with the woman throughout the whole pregnancy? You there for prenatal stuff. You going to the doctor's appointments. You certainly in the room when the baby coming out, right?
Okay.
So you're doing it with her. You might not be giving the physical birth,
but
and that's where
the real low comes in. And I'm not saying that during the pregnancy a guy is not experiencing a lot, but they're experiencing a lot because the woman is experiencing the most right now. Like that's the only reason.
They're in tune.
She thought about that before she decided to have that baby.
All men don't.
We said sleep through their.
All men don't be attached like that,
right?
When it comes to pregnancies and things like that, they'll go to sleep while you know.
And if he ain't attached to the pregnancy like that, that's because he wasn't attached to you like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even think that.
What might be what he was taught. Like his nature.
Yeah. So, like for me, I'm a teacher, right? taught public schools, elementary, middle, high school, daycares, you know what I mean? Like, I really fuck with kids, you know, and the wellness of children. So, of course, if I have my own, I'm going to have a profoundly unique passion for my children, which I always have. So, I mean, from the very beginning, you will never be able to say honestly anyway. Right? You can lie all day, but you'll never be able to say honestly, he wasn't always there. Or he didn't always want to be there when I kept him away and different things like that. You know what I mean? So there are people, regardless of how that woman looked, regardless of how she might make him feel or whatever, it becomes about that child and the wellness of that child.
Kids, okay? Tell y'all something. If I was to ever have another kid, if I was to ever have another kid, right, and the woman was to be on some shit to like, oh, we gonna keep the kid away from you? So you ain't even gotta try hard. Catch me if you can, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Word is born. Word is born, man.
See, and I said this too.
I think that's only acceptable
if what?
Outside of wedlock. Because listen,
and you gotta think about it. Most of these kids are outside of wedlock. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not having no outside kid in my house. I don't care what the situation is.
Right.
She has to be dead in order for that baby to come to my house.
Right.
We would all like to see our community thrive in a better way than it has been doing, right?
You know how you make the community thrive in a better way?
Like to see that.
I'm telling you. All right, I'm gonna tell you how you make the community
the real
thrive.
way to start it is by making sure the nucleus of families are intact and remain intact.
Now, how you gonna do that?
All right, so
how you gonna
when
do that?
A black woman say to her black man, "Fuck you, I hate you, leave me alone, get out." Thank you. It's like a sign of freedom. She took weight off your back versus you saying, "No, I'm not going nowhere. We have a whole family here. You think you about to just let this go?" That's why we need to get back to where we fight for our families.
Yeah.
But now we in this new era where women have different positions in the world than they had before. So now their mindset is different, and it make men feel like I don't want to do. You know, I still want the feminine woman, but women have advanced and been more empowered to do things that we have been doing. So now it's kind of
like what?
All right. So let me give you an example. Women become CEOs of corporations.
You got something on your chest? You want to get over? Go ahead, speak your mind.
I just feel like I can 100% feel you, right? But let's not overlook the hurt, like, because that's what's causing it, and so we can look at actions because, like, women, when they get to that point of "F you, get out," that is showing them, that is them expressing themselves, and although we may not have done it in the best way in that moment in time, prior to getting it to that point, there have been conversations, there have been talks, and so that's where that's speaking out of frustration.
A consequence.
Yes, for that.
A person has agreed, has made a commitment to you, and has gone out and showed a complete lack of discipline in their behavior, and then it escalates. So you are left with no choice but to say, somebody has got to.
So we jumping all over the place, right? But let me reel this in right quick. I guess you two women are talking about cheating, right?
Not even just cheating.
So okay, so not just cheating. So what else? What else?
Spend all the money.
Exactly, money spending, unregulated emotions. So you're going up and down.
You don't show up for your family.
Yes,
break promises. Those are things that
these are things that could happen, but they're talking about cheating. You was right. These are talking about cheating, right?
Okay.
They're gonna max that shit all day.
Yeah, right. That's what it is, right?
And require discipline.
Okay, so even let's get into required discipline, right? Let's just make a quick list of what you just said.
Yes,
not just men.
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you emphasized.
Let's just say
I certainly was gonna go in.
So lack of discipline, which I heard cheating, not showing up. I heard cheating in that. And what else?
Breaking promises.
Hey, I heard cheating in that
too. Pick the kids up for me at school because, I'm going to be held back at work. I know that you can pick these kids up. I know that you can make arrangements. And then what happened? You don't pick them kids up, and then I get a call from school.
So are you speaking to, like, this is somebody that's in the house with you? That's in the house with you right now?
Either way.
Either way, or separate.
But we're talking about keeping the family together. So in this, if we're branching off of what Jamal was talking about, we're talking about people who are in a household together.
Okay.
And this is what dismantles these relationships. You have to be
in the house together and out of the house is two different things, right? I put it to you like this. In the house, we have shared responsibilities. Yeah. Out of the house, them kids live with you, you have responsibilities. That's it. Plain and simple. Really? Yes, absolutely. 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 Out of the house, you got the responsibility.
Hey. I want you to talk to somebody.
For real.
I ain't got to talk to nobody. I'm talking to y'all. I'm talking to the people.
They telling you
out of the house.
Your thought process
that is your responsibility.
Because those are still your children. So what do you mean your responsibility?
What makes it? Let me ask you a question.
The mindset that you are having is the reason why. This is what he's talking about. Like, so being so quick to just
throw it away.
Throwing it away. I'll put your responsibilities in your kids because F it.
You know, only way that you those kids is your responsibility is if you said in the beginning and you and this woman agreed that y'all wanted to have these kids. That's the only way them kids is your responsibility. If you say, hey, babes, I love you. Yeah, I love you too. Let's make a baby. All right, cool. That's your responsibility. You say, hey, I like fucking, you like fucking, we start fucking, you get pregnant. That is your problem. So that is not the man's problem.
You don't think that everybody who's fucking, which it takes two, right? Unless you're doing it by yourself.
Right.
We should know that if this happens, this is a you and me thing.
Right.
No.
Happens, right?
No, this is not a you and me thing. That is a you thing.
There are, listen. He's not by himself. There are a lot of men that are so disgruntled with what has been happening with women, and let's be honest, in particular, black women, right? Where they just feel emasculated by these women who never before have women been able to look a man in his face and say, bitch ass nigga, you pussy ass.
You're absolutely right.
Or look at you and square up, ready to fight. Steal off on you. Bitches to spit in your face and shit. Right? So there's a new paradigm that we dealing with, and over decades, this shit been boiling over because it certainly ain't just started yesterday. They've been doing it since they got the ability to vote, since they was able to speak without getting slapped in their mouth. These are things that just happened decades ago. So before that, they were going through this shit for millennia. The woman's spirit is the most damaged spirit on the planet. They couldn't wait to get an opportunity to be a nigga for real. They've been waiting to be on some masculine shit for a long. They will never say it because they want to own. They want to own the femininity. They want to own the femininity.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you think women enjoy
man? I'm not mad. I just want you to keep it real. Just like the people that voted for Donald Trump. All right, you see what the man doing. You voted for him though. Wow. Be real and say, yeah, I voted for a wrecking ball. I wanted the guy to go in there and shake stuff up. I just didn't know he was going to do it crazy like this and all that. But keep it real though, right? So I want y'all women to just keep it real. This is your chance to let all these men know everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. That women got balls too, right? Ain't that what y'all feel like? Y'all got balls too, right? Y'all got a voice too, right? You don't want your voice to be suppressed, right? You don't want your femininity to be suppressed.
You said it got pushed into
but at the same time, you want all the benefits.
Balls to drop.
But listen,
you want all the benefits of being what a man has,
and no responsibilities and shit.
And positivity. In the event that occurs, right, and a man can't handle it, or the woman can no longer handle the relationship, and you separate, you don't consider this child in the future and how you might meet this child that has moved on.
Rephrase the question. Well, slow it down for me.
Okay, something happened.
But you were already together.
You were together. You can't tolerate you can't tolerate this masculine energy.
That's something completely
coming
different.
From this woman, right?
That's completely
and
different.
then the relationship dismantles, and her and the kid leave.
That's something completely different because you were together and they hurt and then you split.
So
I'm speaking from the jump. I didn't want to have a kid with you.
He made it very clear that's what he was talking about.
Right. I'm not speaking about y'all was together because being together is like an agreement. That's like a contract between y'all. It's like, all right, yeah, we're gonna do this together. Shit don't work out. All right, we both still have responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about from the jump.
If it was
I just want to get the box, and I don't want nothing else, no other responsibilities.
I obviously don't agree, right? I'm just pointing out a fact. I'm just pointing out a fact of why
what discipline
think the way that they do about these
things. Being a man, that the responsibilities of being a man, that
I think for real. So there's a lot of reason a man won't do certain things, right? Most of it is just personal to that man himself. We don't always have a caucus of why we do stuff. It's just related to individual people. But most times, when somebody is avoiding responsibility or something or accountability or something, it's because either they are irresponsible people, they're immature people, or they just ignorant. They just don't know how they're supposed to be. Now, nobody taught them or
let me ask you
they weren't guided in the right way.
How is it your responsibility if you say from the jump, I don't want any responsibilities?
But do you really say from the jump?
Yes,
or do
absolutely.
you say from the jump after the baby comes?
No, you say see
before you start fucking, right?
Before you start fucking.
Okay.
Even when you start fucking and this person gets pregnant, right?
No. You have to, for me, you have to leave it at before you start fucking, right? Because it's the fucking part that get the baby in the world. All right, so what I'm saying is you're telling this woman up front before you start fucking
I don't want no kids. I don't want no kids.
Or just simply say, if a kid come into the picture, I do not want nothing to do with that. That's not what I do. I ain't with the kids.
Right.
And you tell her that and she still choose to fuck with you,
right? I
would then agree with you and say that is her responsibility because you told her. You told her. Now, you should still, have this innate feeling that your legacy is not, having you to give him or her what they're probably going to always desire to have if they never meet you. Like, man, I wonder what my dad is like. I wonder what his family is like. I wonder if they got, certain.
Or just to explain certain parts of themselves.
Guess what?
If
she never brought you in this world, you would never be asking those questions. You know what I'm saying? Plain and simple.
Well, it's allowed to get to the point where she ain't gonna have a choice but to bring you into this world.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'm not even opposed to that. You know why I'm not opposed to that? Because first and foremost, bros need to be more selective of who they laying down with anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all gonna flip it and be like, oh, men, I know you're gonna flip it and be like, yo, men need to be more selective. But it's like, no, women really need to be more selective, right? Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You had children, right? You got children, right? Okay, boom. For 9 months, you're carrying that baby, right? Your body is changing on you. You know what I'm saying? Your feet swelling up. You're picking up weight, you know what I'm saying? Right? Mm-hmm. You have more than one kid, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, how many kids you got?
I gave birth to 5, but
you gave birth to 5 children. Mm-hmm. That is 5 times that you could have died. You understand what I'm saying? Now I'm not gonna ask on this camera. I ain't gonna go there, right? You got 1 kid, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Let's say I'm pretty sure he's not shit. I'm pretty sure y'all got a good relationship with him. But let's say that this nigga was not shit. You know what I'm saying? And you knew he wasn't shit. Would you still want to have that kid with him?
No. But that's just...
No. You knew this nigga was not shit. Would you still want to have the kid with him?
No.
Okay. Plain and simple.
That's not a real question.
Listen, it's a real question.
Would she still fuck him?
Is the real question.
Obviously. How many bitches is fucking niggas that they know ain't shit?
That gets to the root of where the situation then gets to. The problem is the reckless fucking for real.
Yeah.
And then what ends up being a consequence of that is a child, which then people start making choices. You know what?
And the consequence of that
kid,
or that child is that woman's consequence, not the man's consequence.
I need to say this: there are women who don't want that baby, so you know what they do.
Right? They gonna get rid of it.
They gonna get rid of it.
Now check this out. Now check this out. Right? So now let's say we getting ready to have a kid, right? Or knock her up by accident, whatever the case may be. Scenario, right? Mm-hmm. And I want the kid now, and she's like, "Yo, nah, nigga." Sorry. Right. You said, I have no say so in it, right? She gonna do what she want to do when she want to do it, how she want to do it, right? She can hit me with the yo. I don't really see us being together, nigga. You just was a good fuck, and that's it. I don't want to have no kids with you, right? Yeah. Now what I'm stuck doing? Holding my nuts, crying and shit, like yo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. So that's why it's her choice, her responsibility. But any woman's choice, their responsibility.
Though, no one nowhere will fault you for trying to do the right thing. So that's what I'm saying. No matter what somebody else is doing, no matter what they're saying, no matter what they feel,
like you said, it's subjective to the individual, right?
There's still a good thing that can be done better than whatever the bullshit is involved in, right? Which is the one day I want this kid to know if I never hang out with him or not, right? Man, I tried there's so many court records of cases I opened up to try to get you. There's so many times I came by the house and I wrote these letters. Look at the copies of these letters that I got all over these years I've been sending because your mama been keeping me away from you. That kind of proof you need to have needs no validation. It'll be what it is now. If you trying to...
Bro, you think I would go through 18 years of collecting...
You trying not... What I'm saying is...
Collecting letters and court documents just so I can be like, hey son, I tried to be with you, but your mom kept me away.
There's a level to people's ambition to do what they want to do.
Well, I guess I ain't just saying that ambitious.
So I'm gonna say it like this: there are some men who won't cherish the opportunity to raise their children, but they'll marry a woman somewhere who is a variable. She might stay with me, she might not, but I know these kids are going to always be my children, right? But we'll give a woman the whole world. We'll put her on a pedestal. We'll give her this ultimate ceremony that she can invite all her friends and family to be seen in her. We don't do that with our kids. We don't have a ceremony with our kids and say forever, for all eternity, I will do this and I will do that, right? So it gives a person's mindset. There's an option. I have the option of not doing this or I will. And I'm saying there's an innate thing in there, right? That's telling all of us we should have a focus on these replicas of ourselves that we bring out.
Only if you want the replica from the jump. That's my point I'm speaking on. If you never wanted the kids in the first place, you should have no obligation to the kid.
Not even financial?
Not even financial.
I agree with him when he said, if he put it up front and said, you are, so now you know, right? So, but you still want it, right? You still, all right, we doing it. Boom, the same night it happened. She conceived the baby that night. 2 weeks later, she throwing up, took a little test, say, you the daddy.
Shit, me.
Yeah, and you say, now, remember this contract that you signed in the air when you said you heard everything I said.
You got it, man. You's a motherfucking genius, man. Gotta make them sign the fucking contract before we even get started. Got to sign.
I had a friend that did that. Had like in college, she had like guys sign a contract, and I thought she was playing, but like no, she had a guy sign contracts.
What is called
a NDA in a sense, like NDA.
So like if she got pregnant, she could do whatever she wants.
No, it was like you're not gonna go around telling people that we are doing this type of stuff. But she was a she was a little freaky little girl. So.
But I ain't even talking about that. I'm talking about you make them sign the contract. Like, listen, if you get pregnant, you on your own contract. Would you sign it?
I know, and I wouldn't sign it, and I wouldn't have sex with you either.
No, I would never put myself in that.
But
But
y'all want a prenuptial agreement when you get married.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the thought process of being
ain't
now.
That funny?
That's the thought process of me now, and that's the reason why it's
that's
like,
funny,
yo,
ain't it?
yeah, you get pregnant.
The woman is the one who wants the prenup. The man don't think about that.
I would sign a prenup if I married a man that was super rich.
Yeah, I would too.
I would review it with my lawyer. I would negotiate the terms of it, but I would sign it. And if I had money like that coming into it, I would expect that shit too. Because
yeah.
Modern day music man, modern day music woman. Y'all two married, right?
No doubt.
Y'all got a prenup?
No.
We came
Why?
into this with
Why not?
We were gonna be a rags to riches type of situation. We weren't rich when we met each other, but like I said, if he was, I would sign it if he was.
Yeah, so we didn't get together with any kind of materialistic, things at the center of why we fuck with each other, right? We don't even have traditional wedding rings. We have tattoos.
Right.
A male God symbol, female God symbol. So we got our version of God in the center of us.
Right.
So that's just faith. It's just, you can just look at the faith and just say, I have faith in this and what we're doing. And there's so many reasons to believe that that's true. You just can't deny it, even when you super mad, right? And you blow up and you do some things and say some things, you can always come back to the center. So that's where I'm at.
Check this out. I feel you. And I like that. I love that. That is so kumbaya-ish. All right, check it out, right? You said you didn't come in here with no financial expectations of her. She didn't come in with no financial expectations of you, right? Majority of these women now, when they're having these babies, right? That's the reason why they're having the baby. Because of the financial expectation from the man, right? So that's why I said, listen, no, it's on you. That's your responsibility. Now, if you were married, right? Like I feel like you should be married before you even conceive a kid. That should be the only way that you get any child support, any type of support, period, when it comes to these children. If you were married, or even if y'all was fucking with each other for a long time, right? If you was fucking with each other long enough to where it's like you'll care about that woman and she'll care about that man, to where it would even be an issue for you to be like, yo, nah, I'm not even thinking about having kids or anything like that. You're not even gonna think about that. You're gonna be like, yo, I'm already fucking her like that. Let's try to make this work. If it don't work, it is what it is. I wouldn't abandon my child like that. But most motherfuckers, they're just fucking. Yeah, they're just fucking. That's it. They care nothing about the woman, right? So why would they care about a child that she's conceived?
Men see in real time all these issues that other men have with women. They get to see all of them, from a little boy to a young adult to a mature man, right? And we keep seeing these things, yet the power of the female, the flesh, is so great. We stumble through all kind of obstacles to get to it sometimes. And along the way, we get a chance to smell the roses, but most time we stumbling through these obstacles because we're trying to get to a goal, and unwisely that goal has no real substance. I don't care how good it is. For me, it ain't about the body. I am a wise man. I have philosophy. And I am just genuinely trying to be the best possible version of myself. Yeah. So that guy wants, somebody who can connect with me on a more deeper level. I would say a metaphysical level, right? Where our spirits can talk to each other for real. And that's what we do often. We start to say the same things. We were thinking the same things, at the same time. And that's probably genuinely what happens when people, are around each other a lot, right? That tends to happen. But that's what we sought out for. So that's what we got. When you seek this other shit, when you just say, I just want to fuck a lot of bitches. That's exactly what's going. You are. But guess what comes with that? Diseases, babies.
Let me take a sniper shot at you, man. And this is a underhanded shot at you, right? But it's out of love, though. You know what I'm saying? But it's out of love because I love you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You say you want to be the best version of yourself, right? the best version of yourself, right?
Yes.
We spoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what you told me. When was the last time that you've been to the doctor? Bam! Shot him in the foot. You know what I'm saying? When was the last time? Before this time?
Day before yesterday?
No. When was the last time before? Not the day before. When's the last time before this situation that what you call it? I think we said this on the show while you was absent from the what's it called?
When I was in the hospital.
Right. When was the last time you've been to the doctor before your situation?
And got your labs checked.
Right.
That would have let us know.
No, exactly. There you go. Bring it on home, modern day music woman.
The A1C was trending up.
Right. When was the last time?
It's been a while ago.
So how are you trying to be the best version of yourself if you're not even checking up on yourself, my brother? And I'm only saying this because I love you. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to start checking up on yourself so you can be the best version of yourself.
You know what?
I know.
My college professor, right? Paul Adams.
Mm-hmm.
He called me, told me he loved me and all that. And he cursed me out because I'm still trying to be the old version of me. And he told me, I need to acquiesce to a new version of myself that wants to do better than will do better. So, it is challenging, right? But I do a lot of things right about it, though.
Right.
I take my medicine every day. I don't miss that. I go to all of these appointments, all 1 million of these appointments they done set me up with. I got a surgery coming up. I ain't scared to do it. I'm gonna do it. Whatever it is, whatever happened. I'm
gonna be alright. We'll be praying for you.
I'm with it, man. But I genuinely want to be better than I have been in my life.
Right.
You already know.
Yeah.
I've been shitty at times. It's
corrective maintenance versus the preventative maintenance. And that's all I was just trying to tie it in. I was trying to bring it all in as far as, because what you said was like, men got to be the better versions of themselves. Like, listen, this is sort of kind of being the better version of yourself. If you know, hey, I don't want to be a father, right? Mm-hmm. You let it be known, I don't want to be a father. And you step. That's that. Plain and simple. Instead of putting yourself in a situation
in the meantime, are you taking all of the preventative measures?
Yeah.
To not become a father.
Yeah, like abstinence. I would think you just shouldn't even be fucking. If you just gonna
great point.
Not only coming with your condom, right? But coming with the plan B in case something happens. That need to be a gift basket for when you come into the crib and handling business and you ain't trying to have no kids.
Now, for all this shit he talking, he is an incredible father. And what he love his kids, so this really for the camera.
Listen, it's not for the camera. It's not for the camera. Because it is hypothetical, right? It is hypothetical, but it's not for the camera. But here's the thing, though. All of my children, I wanted all of my children. So this is still, even though it's hypothetical, it's not hypothetical because I wanted all of my children. You understand what I'm saying?
But if you didn't.
If I didn't, shit.
Be doing nothing.
Terrible.
Listen, man. And if you tried to force me to do something after I know for well and I express like, listen, I don't want to have no kids, and you still want it, you know what? You know how low down and dirty that is on a female's behalf. You know what I'm saying? That's basically, that's like stealing a baby. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I don't want to have kids, and yet you still gonna go ahead and do it and still have the kid.
I do agree with that.
That is so diabolical.
But also, you have to think about it like this. Like, I'm an advocate for my ladies. We have to be a protector of the womb that we were entrusted with.
I agree.
But also, we can't get ourselves pregnant. I can nut all day. Mm-hmm. And no baby. No baby.
Yeah.
You nut. A man nuts. It creates a child. So there's some level of responsibility, and I think that's where it goes back into when two people are having sex. There should be some understanding of what sex is, the understanding of your responsibility, their responsibility, and what all this carries And the fact of, okay, if you don't want a baby, I don't want a baby, then this is what not having a baby looks like. Abstinence is a big, 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 great thing because that just steers the way. But reality, sex is, it's inevitable.
But abstinence is off the table.
Natural part of human behavior.
Literally. So it's just what it is. With that being said, like, there's a responsibility that should be had when having sex. Because as a man, if you don't want to have sex, if you don't want to have a child, and even if you tell this lady all day long you don't want to have a child, don't nut in her. Hello, you can feel that. You are a grown.
And how about you make sure you discard the condom?
How about that? Right, exactly. Like, take some ownership.
Because you about to get to that. Right, because I was about to get into
let's go ahead and be real then. Right. If we're going to talk about some
have some ownership.
Let's talk about how these women out here will have a baby by you and have a baby by somebody else and make you think that baby was yours the whole time at 18 years plus. And nobody find out until somebody died. And that's the most fucked up thing a person can do. That's wild. So what I think we talked
Remember I asked that question? Yeah, I was like, what's worse?
We should have, a paternity test right away.
Right, absolutely.
I agree. And just so we can make not about somebody in doubt, right? Let it just be a mandatory thing. Let's find out right now if this who you say it is, right? Especially this who you say it is?
Just like mama.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, I know.
Babies can come out looking like whoever, right? But yes, we definitely need to know who the father is right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Give a man the chance to step. Because here's the thing.
Shit.
Yeah. I agree.
To be a man to stand by. And this is why it's like, that's why you might as well just dip. You know what I'm saying? To be a man to stand by a woman, right?
See, because of
to
shit
stand
like
by
that,
a woman,
and
you put your all into it, and then you find out, like, this kid is not yours. It's like, oh, man.
It's men that get out here and work jobs like the shipyard where they work 12, 14 hours a day every
That is
day.
the worst.
And then they get a woman, right, after working all day, literally all day, every day, and then come home to listen to somebody who's emotionally excited, because she ain't seen him all day. Why did you stop at the bar on the way home? Why this and that? And so, you're hearing things, right? And no man who just got off of work and now at home and what he considers to be his castle, right, wants to feel any type of, confrontation from the woman. He for surely is breaking all kinds of bread for, in purpose to that. So there's been a lot of, disgruntled behavior reciprocated from a man. But I'm just saying that's unnecessary because that's always been the case. Women have always been different from us and doing different shit, saying different shit, trying to include us in conversations that a man would never fucking have for real. Oh, let me tell you about what happened on the soap opera today. But it's been going on for a long time though. The gossip game, you try to bring your man into the gossip game with you, right? Because that's your homeboy now. You've been with him a long time. You sharing with him. Guess what the people across the hallway did today? I heard them fighting over there this morning. You should have seen it when you was at work. I wish I could have told you all that. That's brain. That's brain.
Friends?
I would agree with you.
It happens, right?
Right. But what I don't understand the point you're trying to make though.
Everybody is an individual person, right? We all have the individual responsibility to be how we should be. It ain't always about what we want to be. No, you ain't got the responsibility to be how you should be. You got the responsibility to be how you are, not how you should be. Hey, listen. We all can say we all can say what you should be. But you can say how you are. And that might not match up to what you are. How you are might be dangerous. How you are might have a bunch of negative consequences to being that way. So sometimes you have to seek, by looking inward versus outward, right? Where you just say to yourself, damn, that is kind of fucked up. I think like that. I wouldn't want somebody to think like that about me.
I want self-reflection. For growth. Yeah.
And that's just where like life experiences bring you at.
should you leave the kids at all? And the mirror said to me, fuck them kids. Fuck up out of here, man. Fuck her, fuck the kids, fuck that dog. Hell, all of that.
The house too. The house and the car?
Not if I pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, man. You couldn't even leave them the crib.
Listen, bro. See, now you're missing the point. You're missing what I'm saying, right? Once you were together, that's something different. You know what I'm saying? Once you have that relationship and, you know what I'm saying, that's something different. Unless she was grimy on some, like, you know, just snaking you the whole time. So
that's something a woman you with could make you leave for. Something she could do that'll make you leave the situation.
There's a bunch of shit that people do make you leave. How many times I'll be out? You know what I'm saying?
Not that you would want to do it.
Right? Not that you would want to leave.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Who really want to leave their family if you think about it like that? Yeah. Who really want to leave their family?
We don't most marriages end in divorce because a woman break it up, right? Mm-hmm. The woman is the one that go file divorce typically more than the man.
That's because they don't follow the key part in that marriage decree. Till death do us part.
The commitment.
You know what I'm saying?
It has to be everlasting.
So right when she hit you with them divorce papers, you gotta kill the bitch. That's just how you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying?
Lord, I'm like,
you gotta kill the bitch. I'm playing.
I'm disgruntled. Things have happened in the world that have taken him to a dark place. You know, that's all there is to it. But he's not, like I said, he's not by himself. And I even agree with why some of these actions take place. I just don't agree it should be done. I don't think you should apply it in reality. I just think it's something you should keep in your brain. Like if you're racist, be fucking racist. But don't say nigger out your mouth, out loud, where you can
I don't give a fuck what you say.
Offend people.
No.
Just
offend me.
Be to yourself. You can be a pervert to yourself. You can be pedophile to yourself.
No,
you can be all kinds of stuff to yourself.
No.
But just don't bring it out. Don't create the action right there.
Be outwardly with all of that.
You
the reason why I want you to be
outwardly,
be outwardly, so I can know. So I can know.
You want a rapist to be a rapist?
Be outwardly. Listen, here's the thing. You're a rapist. I know you're a rapist, right? We probably handle it however we gonna handle it. You understand what I'm saying? But I want you to be outwardly. Because most of the people, like serial killers or all these other motherfuckers that be doing these heinous crimes, they're trying to suppress something that they just can't suppress. And then it creeps out and shit happens. Yeah. So be outwardly with it. So I can know. And it's like, oh, okay, bro, I catch you around here. You already know what's gonna fucking happen. You know what I'm saying? Plain and simple. Be outwardly. You want to be a racist? Be outwardly racist. So I know I don't have to fuck with you. Yeah. I would hate the fact that we're kicking it where we go. Know. I'm the only black guy which would never happen anyway, but I'm the only black guy that goes on this trip with all these white boys and we skiing and shit like that. And then I fuck around and I don't come back, right? Yeah. Because I didn't think that they were racist. No, be racist. So you know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, I'm going to give you an example of how that doesn't work. I understand your passion for it, right? I really do. I see where you come from with that. But there's a reason why professional, responsible, mature men before us have gotten us to this point where it just isn't like it used to be. Even if it's not the best it could be, it's certainly not that shit that it used to be, right? And that's because responsible people have pragmatically moved along with slow, methodic processes because that's what it takes. Unless you plan on cutting a bunch of corners, doing some illegal shit or whatever, which you shouldn't be thinking about doing just to, hurry up and move things along. So you have to be of the mindset of somebody that just understands these things ain't going to happen overnight. I got to be patient. I got to be the kind of person that wants a positive outcome from these things. Because a lot of times we passionate about it like Donald Trump is, right? He's being different than almost any other president that's been in office, right? There's a reason why politicians have the title honorable above their door. Because at one point they all were actually kind of honorable people, even though they did indecent things in certain places that we would all consider indecent things today. At the end of the day, they still would do something if you went too far, right?
Let me ask you a question. if you knew that these people did the indecent stuff, would you vote for them?
Oh, I don't. I think you have to be a decent person.
That's what I'm saying.
First, for me.
Regardless of what, decent or not, because decent people do indecent things all the time, right?
But
if you knew that these persons did, if you know anybody did something indecent, you know what I'm saying, before they what you call it, ran for whatever they were running for, would you vote for them?
And to be fair, I'd have to know that that's the truth.
Okay, right? No, you know it's the truth.
All right, so
you know it's the truth. You know this motherfucker did some fucked up shit, and would you vote for him?
So somebody running for president.
Okay,
I know that they own an apartment complex. I know that they've been in the news because they were sued for not renting to black people.
Okay.
I would say that I really can't fuck with you, bro.
Right.
Or I'd have to know, did you change in some kind of way? What have you done to make up for that? But if I certainly know that you've doubled down, tripled down, right, quadrupled down on the same shit,
right,
I really know what time it is with you. It's no guessing.
And that's the point that I'm trying to make when we were speaking about being outwardly. Yes, I want to know what type of person you are outwardly. I don't want you to trick me, because I feel like being tricked is even more worse. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what type of person you are, regardless of whatever the situation is.
Yeah, but that's
what you are. So I can know how I can move forward with you.
Yeah, but that's a pessimistic way of looking at it. For real, people being positive is the best thing you can experience. I actually think that if somebody is addressing you in a positive way, they're speaking kind to you, they're making nice gestures, they're whatever, I'm saying that person could be an asshole for real. But when they're around you, they have respect. They have manners. They're mature. They're being responsible towards this conversation to another human being, regardless of what they really are. So I think even if they're faking, right, I still should respect that more than I actually see an indecent person. I should give that person being
I disagree.
The business more than I should distrust somebody who's showing a trustworthy character.
I disagree. Because if you're gonna be an asshole, like the reality is, the real always come out. So all that other shit, like it's no need. Because if you don't be fake nice to me, you really an asshole. You might as well just be an asshole for me to jump.
What if the person is not though?
What if they are? There are people that are really assholes. Like even when they don't like, I'm not even being funny. Like it's real life assholes out here, and they may not.
But is that not responsible? Am I right when I say it's still responsible and mature of those people to recognize?
Yeah, that's cool. You're trying.
I can't be an asshole in this moment.
No, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the effort.
Responsible and what's going
on. I appreciate the effort, but when you know.
I think in this case it depends on what your common goal is, right? So if you have a common goal with somebody, there is a certain behavior that is expected no matter what. Mm-hmm. So like, if there is someone coming to spend some money with you, and they are kind of
so then it's not a common goal. Racist. You have an agenda. That's better than to say you have a certain agenda.
You guys have a common agenda, or
right? You the asshole has an agenda.
You are collaborating for something to get something you want out of the situation, right? So this person, you don't fuck with them, but they come to your store every week and they spend $100. You know that you're gonna be looking. You know you can be guaranteed just a little $100 and. You know, regardless of whatever else is going on, you're going to be guaranteed to get $400 a month from this person. I don't need them to be who they really are. I might see their Facebook profile or social media, and I'll see that, okay, this is what this person thinks. But as long as they're only coming in and doing this, we're good. Now, if they come in and say, hey, you want me to babysit your kids, or you need me to clean up around the house. Okay, so now there is a boundary that's been crossed. And that is when it matters to me who you really are. Because you've come into a personal space. It depends on how you're dealing with that person. If I need them to be genuinely who they are with me. I've worked with people who I can tell by the way that they interact with me, they don't fuck with me. But guess what? I'm not about to try and slide this 400-pound person up in bed by myself because we don't fuck with each other. You get your not liking me ass up. Let's get over here and let's slide this 400-pound person up in bed because I'm not gonna hurt my back because I don't like it. You know, so it depends on what the circumstance is.
And do you feel like you selling yourself out for not being real with a person you might consider you don't fuck with? Like she said, they fuck with you in a way. I mean, they giving you money at your store. You got a fish store, and they come in, they spend $100 every week, you know, once a week. You know, you might consider that a good customer. They certainly got brand loyalty. They keep coming to you every week for their fish, right?
Right.
But you know,
now
you find out person is something you don't like, whatever it is, right? Do you then say, you know, Mr. So-and-so, I found out some shit about you. I saw you on the what's the thing with the pedophiles?
The
sex offenders, right? I found out you was a sex offender, and I don't like your kind. So don't come back to my store, right? But now you just lost $400 that was contributing to your business, and you lost a person who might also go and tell other people, man, he ain't shit. He talked about me like I was a dog, and he don't even know my story, and all that money I done spent in his store and blah, blah, blah. You don't know how people feel about that guy. They might then start saying, you know what, I ain't fucking with him no more. I didn't like his attitude anyway. They might start thinking of reasons not to fuck with you. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of residual effect.
And it go both ways though. So now let's flip that coin, right? And then we're gonna wrap this up. Let's say you now find out that the only reason I'm fucking with you is because you spending that $400. You understand what I'm saying? But I really don't fucking like you because you're on that sex offender registry list. You know what I'm saying? And if I had the chance, and you knew if I had the chance to do some harm to you, right? And I could do it and get away with it, and I would do it, would you still want to come spend your $400 in my store?
Who would do that if they
exactly? And that's the point that I'm trying to make. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
I would definitely.
So they would
be watching you.
They would want to know.
Now I know I'm privy. Now I'm gonna be watching you. Hey, don't say hello to my kids when you see them.
And this is why I said be outwardly, right? Because okay, now let's use the kids. Let's say pedophile, right? You don't know he's a pedophile because he's, you know, a nice guy, smiling and this, that, and the third, and he's always around the kids and everything like that. But had you known, you'd have told him from the jump, like, yo, the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If we catch you around here, that's your ass. That's why I say be outwardly. You know what I'm saying? However you are, don't hide that shit.
I check that list regularly.
Might be a rapist. Can't leave them around your woman.
Can't leave them. Yeah,
they be them trying to holler at your girl. And you know, we in Norfolk. You know, that's all they do out here.
Oh shit.
Yeah. They would try to holler at your girl for real.
Yo, it's been a good one, but we gotta wrap this up. It's starting to get. I feel like I'm high for some reason. Stuffing this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Probably got a contact.
All right.
Support your local marching band.
Yep. Peace.